ancestors who've been taken away to slavery in America and around the New World, as it used to be called. They are found in many African countries, including the Gambia. In this 1 hour, we will try to explore what the code stands for, what has been their activities, and what are their objectives over the last weeks. Like I said, they've been on radio and television talking about it. So I'm pleased to welcome Adrian Ryan and his wife, Juliet Ryan. If I pronounce your surname well.
You can call me Nyancho Kajabi.
No, your local name is Nyancho Kajabi, and he is Habib Idrissa Kajabi. So you are both Jolas. Welcome. You are integrated already.
Baraka.
Good. So, Council of African Descendants, you call it CORE. Let me first ask, my first question would be, Council of African Descendants, where did it start? Where did the whole concept come? And then
well, it actually came from me and my wife and a few other members. What it is, we was campaigning for a while as Bla Xit. So we went and we met with a lot of authorities. But one of the questions that they do ask us, if we have an organization that represented us here. So I thought to come back to the community, put it out there, check to see if there's any other association that represented us that is legally here in the Gambia. But we checked everywhere and there was none. So a group of us decided to come together, work on it, and then go and register it. So it's actually been registered. We have membership here and we have membership abroad. So we are, the last time I checked my group, we have over 70-something people that actually in court, but for paid membership, we have around 30 members. Yeah.
Good.
Bla Xit,
yes, go ahead.
Just to explain, so Bla Xit is a YouTube channel, it's a media, it's a platform, and Bla Xit was founded to really share about our experiences leaving England and coming to live in the Gambia. So it's about our homecoming, our relocation home, our settling in back home in the land of our ancestors in our origins. And so via our channel, which has over 3.5 million viewers, and as a result of those 3.5 million views, code has been expanded all over the world. And so as such, we're going to go and launch a digital platform in order to embrace a digital membership of code. Because there's over 200 million diasporans just between America and UK and parts of Europe. So we want to embrace those so that we can actually have a proper program for relocation and repatriation. So that's what's important. So the Council of African Descendants, the actual name, I decided to put that forward to a group. There were other names put forward, but that was the name that we all agreed on. And I think it's the right name because of the connotation. Council, you know, is also a very strong word. Just like you have, you know, the Council of Union of Europe, you have many strong councils, and every district has a council. And so because of that, we're made up of people who all have the same aims and objectives. And one of those is to make sure that we can attract inward investment into, you know, the Gambia and Africa as a whole. This is a Pan-African organization. So it's about us having a welcome home. Very important that we have this welcome home. I can't emphasize how important that is. And of course, you know, we have had a great welcome from the National Assembly recently. Absolutely wonderful. and they have formed a pressure group. There's 23 members of parliament who have formed a pressure group, which has been led by the Honourable Suleiman Saho and also, Saku Marong. And so, so this isn't political. This isn't political. Yeah, this is what you said today, which is it's about vision and not division.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to be visionaries and not divisionaries. Mm-hmm. And so this is what it's about, because people think we're being political. We are not being political. No. We can't even vote. So we're not political. What we are, is African. And we need to be accepted as Africans. When we're in Europe, we're called Africans. And then when we come to Africa, we also need to be called Africans and not Europeans. So that is the reason why Bla Xit was also created to act as a desensitization mode, so that you would understand that we are the same. Mm-hmm. It's very important that you understand that we are the same. The only thing that has been different is our exposure to a different culture and being born in a different place. If you had a niece or a nephew that was born in England.
It's always the case. We have people who are born there. When they come here, they look different. But then we always know that this is Mr. Champ's son or Mr. Champ's grandchild whose mother went to UK. That doesn't make them, people British. They're always Gambian. So it makes sense. It's the same thing you're talking about.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good. So let's go back. You people are from the Caribbean islands. Which country were you born?
Right, I was born in the Caribbean island of Montserrat.
Oh, okay.
And that's island just very close to Antigua. Yeah, I was suffer from a volcano. Okay. So that was my reason why I ended up in England. Yeah, because we're still a British dependent territory. Exactly. So slavery wasn't that far away. Because there's still colonies in the Caribbean. I think there's still two.
Is Barbados now independent?
Long time.
Yeah, it is now.
I think it might only be
St. Vincent and
Montserrat and Anguilla, I think, is the only two.
The only two.
Yeah. But I will research it again. But I know definitely Montserrat is still a colony of Britain.
And you lived, is it?
No, not at all. I was actually born in East London.
Oh, okay.
And so I was born in England. And so I'm first generation born in England. My parents, my four parents, originated from slavery in Jamaica. And so that's how I knew actually that I was Gambian, was because my grandma and my grandma's mother's mother had told them that we originated from a place called Cambia. But I didn't realize that in Mandinka they spoke Cambia as Gambia. But I did know that because I heard words like nyam. And in Jamaica, nyam means to eat. Yeah? Yes, exactly. So there's many defadem, you understand? There's many, and I think that's why the relationship between Gambia and Jamaica is so close, because we originate from Gambia, and I could take you into Jamaica and no one would know that you was a Gambian. That you look.
Until I speak the first word, then they will know. I come from somewhere, but I can
not even, because you even sound a little bit fatwa, they wouldn't know where we come from. If you say me wouldn't know where we come from, they wouldn't know. So we are the same. It's just cultural differences. We eat sweet potato, cassava, you understand? Yam, same said way. We eat fish, same said way. You understand? Yeah.
All of those who in Jamaica originally come from Africa. I mean, they went there to work for British plantation owners or etc. Marlon, you may take interest in these people's history. I know. I've been a university lecturer. How do you see the cause of CORE, so to speak?
Yeah, the topic, basically when we talk about, slavery and things that had happened before, it actually makes me sad mostly. But of course, for me, I've been watching all they've been doing, and it's a very genuine cause for me. And I think these are people that do not even need to put up voice for us to really accommodate them back in our society, because they are our own brothers and sisters. So it shouldn't even take a minute or a blink of an eye to say, look, this is your passport and this is your citizenship, this is your home, and this is where you belong. So generally, I think they're on the right course, and of course, it shouldn't take one alcalo a minute to tell you, welcome home. And basically, this is your land. You can go and plant your cassava, and then life is back to normal. And we are all brothers and sisters, just like return of a brother or return of a sister back home. So for me, that's basically how I say it. So I think it's the right thing, and of course, it's great to have your own brothers to talk about things that had happened before, and to have people who are wanting to come home.
Absolutely.
Sweet home.
Yes, I was
Definitely is.
In the 1970s, in the First Republic, this Gambia government had a policy of encouraging what we call home cotton, which is to attract people like you. The idea was very strong in the 1970s. I remember there were representations, of Gambia around the globe or in Africa where such meetings happen. I remember there was one particularly I witnessed that in Banjul, Reverend Sullivan was it, and Sadawade Jawara, the then president, went to that meeting and presented him with a passport. So we had also have roots, which basically we are the first African country that tells the whole world that actually most of these Africans come from the Gambia. Alex Haley led that way. Yeah. So when you come to the Gambia, let me first ask, how are you integrated? I understand you people are in Busura. How are you received?
They receive us just
Bla Xit Family, can you hear me? So let's take this off the screen, please. Bla Xit Family, can you hear me? Just let me know if you can hear me. A few comments just to say you can hear and see us loud and clear. Yes, who's that? James Lamin, Hazel Eugene, Mr. Kong, Prodigal African, ATM Tin. Thank you. Okay. So come on in. Seth, you going to join the debate or? No. No. Okay. Jump up and listen. Okay. Thanks. I'm going to move over. Oh. Okay. So there's myself, Glendon, and Adrian. Adrian's not here yet, so Adrian will be joining us, and this is Sarjo, and this is Nyancho Kajabi. Yeah. So welcome to Bla Xit, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this live. We do apologize for the delay, the long delay in doing from the last live. As you know, we have been busy, and so I kind of wanted to bring you up to date on what's been happening. Also needed to add you to invite you to join us. So let me just do the invites. There we go. And oops. Let me just add it here so you can join us. There we go. So if you'd like to join us in today's subject, we gratefully appreciate you joining us. That's the address. I'm also going to put it in the private comments so that you can join us there also in the private chat, so you can cut and paste from there. So, where am I? Right, edit, paste. There we are. Thank you for helping us today. Ayuba Ensa Kujabi? No. Okay, so that's my little bro there. So firstly, let me say thank you to all of the Bla Xit family, Bla Xit, all of you. I just want to say thank you to you all for all of your support, just for being here, really. So I want to say thank you. I'm just going to ask them to close the doors and keep the voice down so you don't get lots of background noise. Ayuba, can you close the doors, please, and stop any background noise for us, please? Catfrey, can you help mummy, please? Just close the door and stop any background noise for us, please. So it's Sunday, and so we're broadcasting from home. I'm not in the office today, although the office has been incredibly busy. So I thank you, Sister of Truth, and thank you for your kind words. And yeah, happy Mother's Day. I believe it's Happy Mother's Day in the US and some parts of Africa. So in celebration of our sisters, regardless of whether you have children or not, it's the feminine energy that we're going to be celebrating today. And, I think that we all deserve that, because boy, have Black women suffered. Black women have suffered. We have suffered. So let's go and talk about today's topic. Now, if you've never been on one of our lives before, I'm Nyancho Kajabi, and I'm joined today by Sajo Sajo. And we are dedicated to our return home to Africa. This channel is dedicated to that. We actually left the UK over 2 years ago, but we've been coming back and forth. I've been coming back and forth to Africa since I was like 22. And so that's like 28 years now. And so, yeah, and love Africa, absolutely love Africa. It's like, there's no place like home. As the saying goes, there is no place like home. Now, in saying that, I would just like to say that today's topic might be a little bit controversial, because a lot of people are talking about it. And also, so everybody's got a different perspective on it. My perspective on today's subject is personal, because it's my personal journey. It's your personal journey. It's our personal experience. So I don't want anyone to say, oh, Juliet, don't be emotive. Of course I'm going to be emotive. I'm living here. Yeah, I don't want anyone to say, Juliet, you're not being logical. Maybe not, because I need, I'm looking at, different perspectives. And so some perspectives are emotional, because when I think sometimes about what my ancestors went through, it's very, very emotional. When I look at some of the pain that we've suffered over centuries, it's very, very hard. And so, citizenship is a huge area for us as African descendants at the moment, because we want to leave. We want to leave the West. We're coming home. And I'm a primary example of that. You're a primary example of that. He left New York, and I left the UK. And we're prime examples of us wanting to be home, leaving home, and experiencing our lives back here at home. And our home is Africa, because we are Africans. And so I think citizenship has to be discussed in context with Marcus Garvey. Yeah. And Marcus Messiah Garvey, had a dream. And not only did he have a dream, but he had an intention, and he put it into action. He put it into practice. And maybe he was well ahead of his time. And maybe he was well ahead of his time, but he was a pioneer. And so I'm going to be talking in the context of Africa for Africans, home and abroad. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Yeah, thank you. Jatan said, and I love you, Jatan. Yeah, miss you too. Really miss you so much. I'm so glad you came to the Gambia. Yeah. Honestly, do you like the fabric? Yeah, did you see that I had it made? Sorry, that's personal. Once again, so she bought this for me for my birthday, and so I had it made into a top, and I was going to take a picture in it, but she beat me to it because she's on the live. So I hope you like it, Jatan. And she was here in the Gambia, and please join us on the live and let people know what your experiences were here in Africa. So yeah, I'm going to look at it from a very Garveyite perspective today. So I want anybody who can remember anything that Marcus Garvey said, like a tree without its roots, yeah, or any of the sayings that touched your soul, because we're talking about citizenship and us coming back to Africa. I don't think that it should even be a point of discussion. I think there should be concessions made for African descendants, and those concessions should be automatic. Those concessions should be automatic. We are Africans. We're not aliens. We're not foreigners. We're Africans. And so I want to talk to that subject. So I'm going to ask you to join me on the live. I don't want you to be shy. I want you to come and join us. Now I'm going to ask my guest here, Sarjo. You know, this is your second time in the Gambia, but you've been to other African countries also.
Yes,
And you've Black Xit permanently to the Gambia. And so let me say a special hello to my queen, my sister Michelle, before I even start. So go ahead and share with us why you've come and what your thoughts are on the 15-year wait that we have in this country for citizenship, because there hasn't been any kind of special concession made for us.
Well, good afternoon, Bla Xit family, and I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day to all those beautiful mothers out there who have been doing a lot of groundwork to put us where we are today. Myself, my mom is now deceased, but she has left a legacy in me and my brothers, and I'd like to wish you all a very happy Mother's Day. Thank you very much. You know, it's amazing that here we are in 2021 as people of the African descent seeking citizenship on the African continent. How interesting is that? We basically there's no home for us if we have to get citizenship for a place that should be ours. Why should we have to get citizenship to come home? I think this is something that every African country should be pursuing right now, trying to reclaim their lost children. Some of us are coming home. Open your arms to welcome us, particularly those who are making every effort to make things better for our brothers and sisters here. We have struggled far too long in other countries. Why do we have to struggle here to belong? And this should not be. And this is an appeal to every African leadership, every country with leaders that are not receptive to the idea of granting citizenship to their members, to their children in the diaspora. This is a plea. Consider it, look at it, give it a hard look, because 15 years is not acceptable. And I stand here with my sister Juliet. Happy Mother's Day, Juliet. I stand here with my sister Juliet Nancho in this appeal to get the acknowledgement from leadership. Come forward and grant your children citizenship. Don't leave us out there for 15 years. Europe don't want us. The Americans don't want us. Why are you leaving us out there? We have a lot to offer. So allow us to come home and be accepted home. My sister Juliet has done a lot to make this possibility, and I say a reality because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But we need the support of some of our brothers and sisters out there who I think it's overdue. Let us come together. Let us come and fight this battle together. Let us appeal to the government to give us that citizenship and not come to the continent and, you know, do some of these unusual things that some of us are already doing. I'm asking us to come together, come as a unit, come under one agenda. Let's make Africa home and build this continent the way it should be. We should not be fighting ourselves, not in 2021. We have seen what's happening all over the world. Come home, family, come home and appeal to the governments. We have seen what Magufuli has done. We have seen Magufuli at work. and we could make the entire continent MAGA fully. Let's make the continent a MAGA fully continent. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. Thank you, Juliet, for having me on this afternoon.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Now, I just want to say that basically, there's some issues that I've encountered, and I just want to address them. I want to say firstly, that I think there's some people that are on the continent here that think they're more African than us. I see people even living in Europe and America that think they're more African than us. So I just want to set the record straight. We all have African DNA. And most even of the people that live here in Gambia are second and third generation migrants who are not homogeneous to even Gambia itself. So when I hear some Gambians whose parents were from Guinea-Bissau or from Senegal and were born in Gambia, turn around and critiquing us, it's very hard to swallow. And it's hypocritical. You're not more African than me because you were born on the continent. And I'm not more African than you because I was born on the continent. We are all Africans. We are all Africans. Woda Maya, thank you. Just saw a message come up. So Ghana is now changing the rules to make it between 6 to 12 months, which I agree with. That's reasonable. And so what I'd like to say, 6 to 12 months is far different from 15 years. And so a lot of people are now saying, oh no, they should be screened, they should be this, they should be that. We are you. We are you. You are us. And we are you. There's no separation between us. I keep saying it over and over again. If you had a family member, if you're Gambian, you had a family member, say your sister had a child, and that child happens to be born in London, is that child not African anymore? Or is that child still an African? That child is still an African. And so are you going to turn around and say, oh, that child could potentially be a criminal. Let's screen that child. Is this how you're treating your family? Is this how you're treating your family members? No. Let me tell you about the love we've been getting and the support that we've been getting here on the continent. We have got so much support here on the continent. And so I'm here to big up those people that have been supporting us right here. I'm going to start with Halifa, Honorable Halifa Saleh. Honorable Halifa Saleh has been with us from the start, and he told us that it's our birthright. It's our birthright. He said even a welcome is an insult. He said it's our birthright and that no one should challenge that. And I agree with him. I also want to give a big, shout out and support to Honorable Samba Jallo, because he supported us and sat down at the table with us and told us that we are one and we should be together and we should be unified and that colonial law should not keep us apart. So that's going to make me address colonial laws now and the entrapment that it has on Africa up until today, because it's colonial laws that's keeping us apart. Then I want to thank Honorable Usman Toure. That's right, the same name as our brother Usman. And I want to thank our brother Usman Toure as well, our young Pan-Africanist, for his support and his help with our campaign for citizenship. I also want to thank Honorable Sekou Marong, for championing the cause and arranging for us to go and see the Vice President, Her Excellency, Dr. Aissatou Toure, here in the Gambia. So I want to thank Her Excellency, Dr. Aissatou Toure, who is a Pan-Africanist and a woman who I hold in high esteem. And I really cannot wait to see the manifestation of what we discussed in that private meeting in the State House. I also want to thank Honorable Suleiman Saho. Honorable Suleiman Saho went ahead and arranged a meeting in the National Assembly, which is the equivalent to the Parliament here, for us, with a whole host of MPs. I wish I had the list here. I should have had my book to list everybody's names. Can you imagine going into a room, you're called to the National Assembly, so you've got butterflies in your stomach, you're already feeling nervous, and I was feeling nervous. I didn't even know what to wear. I was all flustered. And, you know, I got there thinking that it was a meeting like with just, you know, Honorable Suleiman Saho, and, you know, going to the National Assembly, it's like, you know, it's a big place. And, you know, this is where all the parliamentarians are. This is where the ministers go. This is where the, you know, the president goes. And so we went there and we went inside, we went inside the room. And, you know, when we were there, we were greeted by so many, right? We were greeted by so many honorable members, and they welcomed us. They welcomed us so warmly. In fact, I didn't even have to say much, to be honest with you. I didn't have to even say much. They said it all, didn't they? It was just amazing. They said it all. I was in shock that we had so much support, and that they will be supporting and sponsoring our private members bill. So we have we are all, I'm just going to ask you not to put profanities inside the comments, please, and disrespectful comments there. I see we've been joined by someone. I'm going to add them to the stream. It's my sister Bijou Noua. How are you doing?
Hi, family. How are you?
How are you?
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm glad you're here. This is myself and Glendon here. You can see us both, yeah?
I can only see you, but I know he's there.
I'm going to move over. All right, Glendon. Okay. So I hope you can see us both. Like,
Yes, you're both beautiful. Yes, I can see you.
Likewise, my sister, my queen. So thanks for joining us. So, you know, we're talking and just catching up. So we went to the National Assembly, and now there's a pressure group. And the pressure group has over 32 National Assembly members in them. And the 32 National Assembly members are supporting our private members bill, which is amazing, yeah? And the private members bill is basically to incorporate a program. Now, automatic citizenship is a program, yeah, an integration and assimilation program that basically means that we're integrated back through the villages, back through our families from where we were taken.
That's amazing.
And it's a 2-year program, but it means when you get to the airport, you're not going to get a stamp in your passport. This is what we're asking for. That says you can only stay for 2 weeks, even though you come to live. You know, you come to live and they're giving you 2 weeks. It's like, you don't want me here, you know. And so when I explain that, you know, what it's actually like, you know, coming back to live, and then you're given that, they need to make a special dispensation for people that are repatriating. And so that's why I said they should have a certificate of citizenship, which gives them some automatic citizenship. You understand? They get full citizenship after 2 years of the program.
And that 2-year program includes learning a language,
That is awesome.
you know, being integrated into a family, into a village, being renamed, being taught the culture, and spending time with that family. But not only that, also assisting the village, you know, assisting that family and let them assist you and teach you. So it's, you know, it's cross-fertilization. It's together. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Right.
So
right.
we lost. We would take we were robbed of our culture, robbed of our language, robbed of our families, you know. And then, you know, I even saw someone make a comment talking about land grabbers and all this. Hello, our ancestors actually left land.
Can I respond to that? Because
yeah, one second, let me land.
Here.
And so, you know, I saw this in a comment because I actually was fortunate enough to meet the minister of lands and regional regional lands and religion. And so I met with him, a lovely man, by the way. And he said exactly the opposite. He said, I tell you, I wanted to cry. He said exactly the opposite. He said, this is your home. Welcome home. This is where you belong. He was just amazing. And, you know, he was saying basically African for Africans, home and abroad. And this is what he was saying. He was saying, no, we should be able to come home. We must be able to come home.
Yes.
You know, and he is reviewing the policy for us regarding ownership of land and the restriction of the 50 by 50. So exactly the opposite, you know. And so, you know, I just want to give a shout out to those that have really supported us. And he is, you know, an ardent supporter, also Minister of the Interior, also Ambassador at Large, yeah, Mr. Sima. You know, also all of, there's so many supporters, honestly, sis, here in the Gambia. Like I said, this was at the naysayers, but I've got to say to the naysayers, it's hurtful when you take, you know, an imperialistic attitude about your brothers and sisters coming home. It's awful. It's awful to us. And to be honest with you, it only tarnishes you and your reputation. Yeah, it's hurtful to us, but we're thick back. We got thick skin. We've been through racism and discrimination, rejection. Yeah, we've been through displacement. We've been through separation. We've been through every kind of hardship. We've seen our families suffer. Okay, so, you know, let's talk about this. Gambians have dual citizenship.
Yep.
And so, you know, and I know a lot of Gambians that are doing very well in the diaspora. And many of them are coming home, because I've met so many people who said, Julia, I watched Bla Xit, and because of Bla Xit, you know, I've come home. I was 27 years in New York. I spent how much time in the UK? I'm a Gambian, and now I'm coming home. If you can come home, I can come home. So I'm so glad that, you know, we're able to have influence. And what we're asking for is to say no more 15 years. No more 15 years.
Yeah.
Not for us. If you want to do that for Europeans, I ain't got no issues with it. You want to do it for the Lebanese, I don't have an issue with it. You want to do it for the Chinese, I don't have an issue with it. But when it comes to us, your brothers and your sisters, I have an issue with it. You know, and also the whole issue around screening, right, superimposes the impression that, you know, diasporans are the only criminals in the world.
Exactly.
You know, I don't like that, because every African country I've been in, it has prisons. Every African country I've been into has criminals, yeah, has lawyers, has courts, yeah, has the very same people that we have in the diaspora. I told you, we're the same. As many, we are one, and as one, we are many. And I'm gonna keep saying this until I hammer it home. As one, we are many, and as many, we are one. One Africa, one people. When a Chinese is living in England, he's still Chinese. When a Chinese living in America, he's still Chinese. When an African is living in England, he's still African. If an African is living in the Caribbean, Montserrat, Antigua, Barbados, Cuba, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, St. Vincent, Barbuda, Turks, St. Kitts, Virgin Islands, Trinidad and Tobago. I wasn't leaving it out. I don't know you're sitting next to me. Yeah? Trinidad and Tobago, Anguilla, West Papua. Yeah? How many other places we live? All the way, how about the whole of Melanesia? Melanesia. It's even called Melanesia. Melanesia.
I love it.
So, you know, we need to have race solidarity, race unity.
Yes.
You know, I remember reading something. I'm just going to let you come in now, sis, yeah? I remember reading, I think it was Jerry Rawlings, who was the ex-president of, you know me, I love reading, of Ghana. And I remember reading where he said that Africa will not thrive, yeah, until we come home.
Period.
Until we all come home. This is what Jerry Rawlings said, yeah? That Africa will not thrive until we reunite. So, you know, talking of the 15-year citizenship and talking of what Jerry Rawlings said, and of course Marcus Garvey, because today is in the context of our brother Marcus Garvey, because a lot of the things that I'm seeing is going against what our brother Marcus Garvey fought for. And so I want to remind everybody of what we went through. And I know you got some great news, so I want to share that great news as well. I want an exclusive.
Well,
So go ahead.
guys, I want to say I'm happy to be here with everybody. Hi, chat. I see you guys working really hard in the chat section. I'm really excited. Juliet, I want to thank you first and foremost. I remember the first video you came out with Wadamaya when he asked you, why did you leave England? Why did you leave the UK? And you said, because it's a dump. I have to tell you, at that moment, I was thinking about going to Ghana. Prior to that, I had already been in communication with people about getting land in Ghana. Paperwork was already in hand, and I was about to forward it and make payment. But when I saw your video, and you were talking about the Gambia and the beautiful people in the smiling coast of Gambia, and you just started showing us around, and you started introducing the Gambians to us, something in my heart said, the Gambia. And so I stopped everything I was doing with Ghana. Shout out to Ghana, because I still love Ghana. Got to go visit there as soon as I can, once I get myself, on the continent. But as soon as I saw your video and I saw how happy your son was, and I saw your brother and your husband, and you took us around, and some of the Gambians came to visit you where you were renting at, and people were just so lovely. And I was like, oh my God, my soul resonates with this. I can do this. I want this, and I did my research about the Gambia. There was something that I found out that connected me even more so to the Gambia. When I found out that, because I'm Haitian, shout out to all Haitians in the comment section, sakpasi. So that being said, when I found out that our revolution, and I don't know if everybody's aware, but the only Black revolution that was ever successful, was the Haitian Revolution. It can be disputed, but I doubt it. But that being said, one of the three main members of that was, leading that revolution was a Senegambian. Let me give you some backtrack on that. Dirty Bookman. Anybody that don't know who that is, research, because if you're a Gambian and you don't know who Dirty Bookman is, you don't know your history, you don't know your strength, and you need to know this, because what he did affected Blacks all over the world, even on the continent today. If he did not do what he did, we would probably all still be in a position of colonization and slavery. Well, that being said, I did some research, because I was like, okay, I was looking up Gambians, and then I typed in Haiti and Gambians out of nowhere, and this came up. And when it came up, this man was born in Senegambia. He was taken out of Senegambia in the 1700s, okay, early 1700s, and taken and sold to be sold to Jamaica. That was the first stop. So he spent at least maybe 6 years in Jamaica. And then when he turned 12 years old, because he was such a troublemaker and he was a real rebel, they sold him over to Haiti. Haiti was supposed to be one of those places that was really hard. I mean, most of the lifespan in Haiti, meaning that you would go there and maybe after 7 years as an enslaved human, you would be dead. That was the lifespan of an enslaved person in Haiti. Well, this man went to Haiti, and when he got to Haiti, he was put in a home of a Dahomey queen. Well, she was a Dahomey fighter from Africa, enslaved and brought to Haiti. And this woman trained him in the ways of the Dahomey, fighters. And that being said, Dirty Boukman was the leader of the Haitian Revolution. Dirty Boukman, a Senegambian, from Africa, was the reason that we, as Black people today, can say that, the Haitian Revolution, I believe, is what stirred on a lot of the resilience, a lot of the, after that, a lot of revolutions stampeded after that. It was 1804, 1808, or 1806, the Queen in Britain was like, okay, we gotta get up from underneath the slavery thing. It's not a beautiful thing. So the history behind the Senegambians is that you were the first, to fight in a way. And I think he's from the Mandinka tribe, to be precise. But he was one of the first to fight in such a way where the whole world realize that, okay, so we have a situation with the Black people on this planet. So that being said, shout out to Senegambia and all that it's done for the Black people on this earth, because that was definitely stampede. And when I heard that, I was more impressed and I wanted to know more. And the more I found out, of course, Kunta Kinte, I always knew about I don't think there's a person that did not see the movie Roots. If you're African American, or if you're UK, or even in the islands, you know about Roots. But, and the one thing that stuck in your mind was in that time when they was telling him, what's your name? What's your name? And he was like, saying his name, the African name, but they was beating him. Yes. He kept saying Kunta Kinte, but they kept giving him another name. And, until they beat him into submission for him to take on that name. And that part stuck with me as a child, because that was the last time I saw that. And it was the first time that I saw something about our ancestors and their situation being enslaved. That being said, for me to find out that, again, there was another connection, something that, I could relate to. I was connected to the Gambia in two ways. Well, guess what, guys? So I bought the land from Juliet. That was 2 years ago. Sad, but I still haven't made it to the continent yet. But bought the land from Juliet. A year from that, I took a DNA test. Out of nowhere, I just took a DNA test. I wanted to connect with some people. Go ahead. I can't hear you.
Can't hear you. Correct you, because some people are under the impression that Juliet says selling land. Let me make a correction. Gambian agents are selling land, okay? All I do is hook up with Gambian agents who already have the land. So that's why this whole thing about land grabbing is so wrong. And everybody, except for one woman called Hyacinth Christie, because she won her land in a land raffle, but everybody else has paid for their land. Yeah, we have paid. Did you not pay?
Yes, I paid.
I paid too. Yeah, I paid too. So we are paying Gambian estate agents, who are benefiting from our repatriation. So if anyone talks about free land being given to us, why don't you give us free land? Because all of us are paying for our land. So before people go and make wide, broad, sweeping statements, just have it known that we are all paying for our land. We are all contributing to the economy here in the Gambia. So I'm not going to interrupt you much less. I just wanted to make that point.
I know you can't ignore them, and you can't ignore the trolls.
I'm not the trolls, but I'm saying no. We must have clarity.
Yes.
If you ignore if you ignore someone saying something that's not true, it almost seems like you agree with them. So
Yeah.
I'm just being clear for the sake of clarity so that everybody can understand it's not true. You know, everybody that got their land, yeah, and everybody's land is there. You understand? Some people's is still being processed, some people's aren't, and it's completely done. But everybody got their land, okay? And so I just want to make that clear because I've seen some really negative stuff going around. So I just want to make that clear. Yeah, we are all clear, we're legal and legit, and everything's all good. But you know, we got haters out there just like everybody else. So I'm just making it clear that, you know what, you're safe with us. Yeah, you're very, very safe with us. The same way Gina is safe with us. Yeah. And things here takes longer. That's all, because things are still very manual here. Yeah. And I actually like it that way. I prefer the traditional way because you know what? You get things done thoroughly. I'd rather something takes longer, yeah, and you get it done properly. And so I don't mind, you know, but I'm a slow coach anyway. So let me allow you to continue. I just wanted to add that in just for clarity.
Okay, sis. Well, I want to tell Surge Cadet, yes, please. I want to reach out to you. So I'll make sure that we got to figure out how to reach out. But yes, I would like to do something on that. But that being said, where did I stop? In reference to the land, I got it 2 years ago. I haven't really been able to get back to the Gambia, even though I've been trying in my heart. Trust me, I want nothing more. And I talk about it every day. If you go on my channel, you'll see that. But that, you know, I took a DNA test a year after I bought the land, and just because I was doing some personal searches. I was looking for my father's family, and come to find out, I did find my father's family through my DNA testing, and was able to get in contact with a sister, but that's a whole different story. That being said, maybe just a couple of months ago, 2 months ago, I got a ping from my DNA testing that I had taken a year ago. And they said, hey, we found some relatives for you. And I looked at the message and it was from, guess what? It was from Africa. Okay, so I was excited. I couldn't wait to open it up. Opened it up. It was from Senegambia. And if anybody wants to see more detailed information on that, I have YouTube videos where I've actually shown the DNA testing and the connection with the sister. Her name was Juliet Jackson. Come to find out, she was born in America, but both of her parents were born in Banjul. And their parents, one of her great-grandparents was born in Sierra Leone, and the other one was born in the Gambia. I have since this week, for the first time, have connected and communicated with my family in the Gambia. Arthur Jackson, shout out to him. We're gonna have, and hopefully on Julia's channel, we'll be able to do an interview with me and Arthur. It is the most exciting thing I have ever gone through. I mean, we talk about being connected. We talk about we being family. We talk about those of us that were taken from the continent are your brothers and sisters. And this right here proves it. Me and Arthur share 7th great-grandparents, 7 generations, okay? We share a parent 7 generations ago. So that's the news. I'm still soaking it in myself. I can't believe it. He is one of the nicest, most humble, I mean, I just can't wait to meet him. I just can't wait to meet the family. It just seems like it's everything is coming. So right here, this is what's happening to us coming home. This is not just a physical movement. I truly believe there's some spiritual hands in play. Please, those of you that are afraid, those of you that are just worried that this is going to bring major changes in your life, understand this. This is bigger than all of us. This is something that we all need. We could all benefit from it. Let's not let our egos or our insecurities or our fears stop us from doing the great work that our ancestors from continent, off the continent have been waiting for. So that's what I wanted to share, and I'm excited about it. Can't hear you.
H, what are your thoughts?
Jane, how are you, sis?
Hey, Adrian, I'm good.
Greetings, Bla Xit family. I hope everybody is well, you know. Sister, we have work to do. We have work to do, and this work is a work that have to be carefully done. You understand what I mean? Sometimes I see people from the general public just talking, and they themselves don't really have much history, much historical background. You understand? They're just talking from their own emotions. They're not really looking at things carefully. You see, so that's what I'm saying, as I was saying to Jules, and I was just saying to Brother Glendon, our returning to Africa got to be sit down carefully with the historians, sit down carefully with the powers that be to discuss it. The general public sometimes, not all of them, but some of them, sometimes take a negative turn. You understand? And sometimes make you feel like they cut history off. They just absolutely cut history off.
Yeah.
No consideration in what they're saying, no thinking about what they're saying. All they keep saying, oh, vet these people, coming about, who they calling these people? We're Africans that was taken against our will. They're no more African than us. And this is why I say the people, most of the people need to be desensitized. You understand who put them in this power of privilege that they could tell me as an African returning? And we have to hit the history. We have to face the facts. The continent of Africa have never reached back out for us. So then I say we need to be guilty and be a little bit more understanding. Don't be coming out talking nonsense. You understand? You see, people came, rip our people from the continent, take us all parts. And now we're fighting to get ourselves back. We're meeting some people here, meeting us with hostility. What is this all about? But when I look around, I realize that the history of slavery, right, is not really a main subject here in Africa.
Yeah.
You see? So what it is, we're coming back, looking at our brothers and sisters that's supposed to really be welcoming us back, looking at them referring to some colonial laws, as if it's a scare of the white man, that you're going to disrespect your own brother. You know, disrespect your own sister coming back. You understand? They sell up all what they have in the West and now bringing it back to invest into Africa, which is going to help the African economy. We're not taking the money back out. So what I want to find out is where do some Africans get their privilege from that they believe that they're more African than us? It's so shallow we become that we forget about our own history. Every other race preserve a history. Every other race talk about a history. Every other race not a history. But when they come here, you see nothing really to even show the past of slavery. You speak about Dirty Bookman. Where would we really go to Gambia for a history about Dirty Bookman?
They didn't even know.
When you come up in school in the West, they teach about the little criminal Francis Drake and them. They never let the little criminal die. But we let our national heroes die. Why we still celebrate Queen's birthday and this nonsense? But yet there's a Kunta Kinte there. You understand? So right now what I'm saying, we have to be patient with each other. We have to be patient with each other. And I do ask people, if you don't really understand your history, just take it easy. Be mindful what you say, be mindful what you put out. You understand? Because you're no more African than us. And me personally as a continental African would be ashamed to even disrespect our people coming back from where we're coming back from.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand? When you study history, you cannot take history, you cannot disregard history. Because it's the past history that brought us in the here and now. That's what brought the separation to us. And if you're willing to come back home, you understand, we should be welcome back. Not be telling the hostile thing, oh, go back from where you come from. Who are you?
That's it.
Who are you to really tell us as African that want to return? Who are you to even say anything? What have you done? Why don't you group together and go challenge the white man that done the damage to Africa? Why you come fighting against us, the victim? That's what I'm saying. Why are you fighting against us, the victim, trying to return home to have a peace of mind? What's happened to history? What happened to our history before and after slavery? Where is that gone? You're going to look another brother in the face and come tell him nonsense. 15 years for citizenship?
It's too long.
It's ridiculous. It's stupid. Our ancestors never gave up their citizenship.
Never.
So where's the feeling? Where's that African loving spirit? Where is it gone?
It's in the villages. It's in the villages.
Yeah, when we do go to the villages, they welcome us. They understand because they keep the history. You understand? They keep the history. Our history predates politics. It predates politics. That's what I keep saying. We should be coming back into the Gambian society through the villages, through the alcalde, through the chiefs. Politicians should have nothing to do with us. They weren't there when we was taken.
Yes.
And it's their responsibility, it's Africa's responsibility to come back and find the people that was ripped apart and tear apart and still being abused in the West. But yet no, when we're coming back, it seems that they want to now victimize us again all over. Treat us like the same that we've been treated in the West. So where do we go? Because if you're gonna get racism in the West, and they come to Africa and get discrimination. So where do we go then? I think it's time that the history being taught back into Africa. It's time we get some more Pan-African schools. Right? Time we get some more Pan-African schools. So what I'm saying, carefully, we have to work together. Us coming back and our brothers and sisters here in the continent. We have to work together.
Sam.
And by us working together, we will be able to desensitize others so they do understand this.
Yes.
And face in the mirror, you know more African than we are. It was unfortunate that we were the ones that got taken and you remain. Your remain should be a strength to bring us back. So that we could come back here and be a part of the African society once again, which we was robbed of.
Listen, Cherno said, believe me, family, the Gambian people have no problem with our brothers and sisters coming back home. There are some self-haters who are trying to separate us. And I believe that. Let me tell you something. Yesterday, right? Sorry to interrupt you, H. I'm going to bring in Sam, right? Because I don't know how long he can stay on the stream
That's
for.
right.
Yeah. But I want to say yesterday we was in the village of Busura. And as everybody knows, the Kajabi family who adopted us into their family, and they're beautiful people. I love them so much, honestly, yeah. The Kajabi family who adopted us and was basically there. We had a VDC meeting. Now, I have been co-opted onto the VDC. VDC means Village Development Committee. And as far as I know, I'm the first one to be put onto a VDC. And then we have Ashanti, who was made head Kabilo. Okay. Now, what's actually happened is that when we had the meeting, we were joined by the Youth Task Force. Yeah. And the Youth Task Force were there in numbers. And they made it very, very clear to us that not only are we welcome, but they are going to fight to make sure that we are welcomed home. So let me tell you that the majority of the people that we met, the majority of all of the politicians that we met are supporting us. The vice president is supporting us and what we said, and said that there will be changes made. The people in the villages and the council of elders that I sat with are supporting us, and changes are going to be made. Yeah. What I'm saying is that they also acknowledge the fact that within the scheme of education, maybe within SES or history, that it needs to be re-inducted into the syllabus. And so, you know, and also we're looking at the revival of African Liberation Day. So on the 25th of May this year, there is going to be an African Liberation Day celebration at the University of the Gambia. It's a free event at 10 a.m. with cultural display and everything else. So what I'm trying to say is that change is happening. So, you know, we've got so much to look forward to. But we have to be here to be a part of that change. We have to be instrumental in that change. Yes, Sam, I know you're there and I want to speak to you. So, you know, you'll hear all this great news with things happening. What say you? You're born here in the Gambia, but you're there in the UK. What say you about what we've been talking about so far? Is 15 years too long? The citizenship.
So can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Hi, Bijunua. And hi, Adrian, and hi, everyone there. Listen, you know my stance on this. I completely support what you're doing. I've been out of the Gambia for more than 30 years, as I spoke to you about it before. I've been since twice. And, you know, when you make plans to come back at some point to do something over in the country of your birth, for example, for me, in my case, the Gambia, coming back to Europe, it just distracts you. So everything that I got involved in just completely distracted me from my plans of what I wanted to achieve in Gambia. And when I saw your program, your video that you put on YouTube, I was blown. The first video I saw, I was blown. It's like I was reborn. And to the point that I contacted you. And I've never, you know, you've been here. If I never knew you existed, and if I want to start looking up about Juliet, I saw that you were on national TV. And it's like, I contacted you. Why? Because I've been waiting for this for over 30 years. I've been waiting for this. Because when I was in the Gambia, I could never really recall studying about slavery. If anything, we just breezed through it to the point that there's nothing I can tell you about slavery. Nothing. In fact, you even know the Gambia more than I do. All these islands of slavery that we have in Gambia, no, not even a school trip was made there, just to give an idea. I've never been there. So when I see you guys going to these islands, I'm actually envious in a good way. But to cut long story short, okay, you also have to remember that not everyone in Gambia is originally people who were in Gambia from time. So for example, part of my family, we came from slavery. Hence why all my names are in English, right? So in my family, we have Scottish and English names. And what they had to do was to choose one African name to identify ourselves as African, which is from the Nigerian culture. So we all have like Igbo names, just one name, which we were not allowed to use in public. So when you speak as a diaspora, it resonates with me as well, even though I'm a Gambian, but also I have, in fact, a uncle or generations down that we were able to identify in Wikipedia that is a direct relation to ours, and he was a musician, right? So he used to play there, and he was freed from slavery, right? This was during the time when Sierra Leone came about by the British, when they created the Sierra Leone as a free town. So some of my ancestors came from Freetown, and also on my grandma's side, we also have the Jolas, because you talked about, you're adopted by the Jolas, right? We also, my part of me is also Jolas as well, right? So yes, Jolas. And it's my mom's been telling me. So a lot of things that, you're fighting for, a lot of Gambians, I'm fully confident, are in support of it. But you have to understand one thing, Juliet, that not everything that one tried to do that is good, not everyone's going to be on your side. We have to focus on those who are on side. We have to focus. We cannot worry about the haters. You see, the biggest problem that we have, right, is not the outside, haters, it's the haters within. And we have to quell those haters within. And how do we quell those haters within? By us putting our head down, plow ahead, get on with what we have to do. We don't have time, right? We don't have time for this. Every time when I see you on TV, on YouTube, trying to make a case for the automatic citizenship, we know that what automatic citizenship doesn't mean that you come into the country, you get it right away. That's not what we're talking about. There's a process. You mentioned about the process, okay? And if anybody is going to actually label those Africans in the diaspora as criminals, or what some of them as criminals, or whatever it is that they're going to bring back with them. But guess what? They are victim of what happened to them. They're all victims. Just like we in Africa, we're victims. How many of the Africans are killing themselves to cross over the river to come over to Europe? And then when they come over here, they pretend to be living a better life, sending pictures of the best, the best dress, the best clothes, but they're living in block of flats.
Yeah.
Flats, right? And then when they come over to Africa, they spend money they've been saving for over a year. And when they come here, they're broke. They're living a life of misery. And then you're telling me that my brothers and sisters who want to come back to the continent, you're telling me that, oh, why Gambia? I saw some comments, oh, why target Gambia? I'll tell you why target Gambia. Because you have to start somewhere for it to spread throughout the whole continent.
Yes.
You have to start somewhere. We cannot spread ourselves thin by doing everything, simultaneously throughout the whole continent. We have to start somewhere. Just like you said that the president in the past was dishing out passports to Africans in the diaspora, right? So it started somewhere. It started in Gambia, and Gambia is pivotal. And in fact, if you look at the map, Gambia is in the westernmost part of Africa, closer to the Caribbeans, closer to the Americas, right? So we cannot take for granted who we are. And the people who are there say, in other words, that we should not be offering citizenship to our brothers and sisters. These are the people who don't even know their histories. Do you know that Europeans, they can trace their family line going down 400 or 500 years? But we could have done the same if our ancestors were taken as slaves, were actually carrying passports, or where their names and where they came from was noted. If it was noted down, was documented to say that so-and-so came from this part of Africa, every individual in the diaspora would be able to trace their family, not their root, their family in the country. Because today we can see English people tracing their generations going down 400 years. Slavery wasn't 400 years ago. Slavery lasted for 400 years, right? And even I would say to you, even up to 100 years ago, slavery still was on in some cases. Because somebody was telling me, if it was you, Juliet, that the last enslaved individual in America was only free in the 60s, right? So the biggest issue that we have right now with slavery is the mental slavery, which the Africans are still suffering with, right? Because someone said, if you bring a boat today to the shores of Africa, you won't have to take them out of Africa by force. They'll be jumping in the boat to go to Europe, right? While our forefathers were fighting to stay. Why? Because we have lost our way, right? The more we run away from our responsibility to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, the more we run away from our responsibility to develop our continent, it will never end. We will always be traced back to the continent. You could be in Europe, you could be the richest man in Europe. It makes no difference. You'll be treated in a disrespectful manner. I've got friends who are millionaires, right? And they can tell you how they've been treated going through the airport, right? They can tell you how they've been treated going to public places. Juliet, you know this. You every day here in the UK or anywhere else in the Western world, you have to second guess what everybody else says, wherever it comes out of their mouth. So as people here living here, mental slavery and the mental torment that we go through is heavy. So for what you're doing, Juliet, you have inspired lots of Gambians to come over to the continent, a lot, who turned their back, and I'm one of them. Like I said, I'm one of them. And I thank you for that, right? So if anybody wants to see the good work you're doing, you're bringing not only the diasporans back to develop the country that is actually falling apart. You have hospitals that are not actually adequate. You have the schools that are not adequate. If we're coming back to build the country, right? We're talking about people. The Gambia, Africa is lacking of skills. We got doctors, we got nurses. They're all here giving their time to save the lives of individuals here while our people are dying in droves in the continent. So if all of us Africans are able to come back to the continent, believe me, the rest of the world will fall apart. Will fall apart because it is we that's propping up their economies. We're just paying bills. I wait for the day that I could look at my front door. I don't have no letterbox, right? Where do we have to pay bills? I wait for that day, right? So if anyone, I'm a born Gambian and I'm speaking right now, forget about those who are time wasters. These are the people who have nothing to do, who offer nothing to the country. Because if you're forward thinking, you know that together we stand and divided we fall. And if we come together, we can change the country. Because anybody can tell me what has been done in the country in all these years since we have independence. Look at the country, it's a small country. All those Europeans, all those foreigners who came into the country, what have they done in the country to develop the country? But yet you got people selling buildings to them. You got people selling land to them. They didn't complain about that, right? But when the diasporans come in, getting a 20 by 20 land, they're making a big issue. So they should be happy that they're happy, they're proud to come back. So you have the right, you as an African diaspora, you have the right to come back. As long as you come back with a good intention, which these are people who come back with good intention. Nobody in their right mind, unless they're mentally disturbed, will come over to do with a bad motive. And those who came, and I'm warning everyone, anyone who comes to the continent with a bad motive will be rooted out. Will be rooted out, you'll be found out. But majority of the people who are coming with good intention. And these are the people that we want to work with. These are the people we're going to fight with, and we're going to fight on, because the fight is on, and we're going to make it happen, right? Everything that we determine that is positive will happen. It's only a matter of time, and time should not discourage us, because a lot of us get discouraged because of time. We shall plow on. So Juliet, keep up the good work, right? So I want to say to everyone, we are behind you, and I'm a born Gambian. Nobody can take that away from me. And I have a voice. And when I'm down there, I will make my voice be heard. Because unless you as a Gambian can tell me and show me what you've done for your country, then I will say to you, in the short space of time that Juliet came, has done much more than you've done. And these people open their mouth talking rubbish. These are the very people who have not even done anything. But they're probably sitting in Europe, living a life of misery and proving to the world that they're living their best life, in which they're not. Because I know my people. I know the country where I came from. So I know. So I want people who are going to make a difference in my country, in the continent, to come over and actually make a difference, so that some of my young brothers and sisters who are in the continent, don't kill themselves coming over to Europe. What for? Right? So we're going to work together. So you got my back on this, Juliet, and I'm here for you. Anything you need that I'm able to do, I'm going to do. And I've told you that already. I've been working with you, and we will continue to work with you because the fight goes on. That's all I have to say. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Well said, brother. Well said.
Oh my God.
Sam, listen, I want everyone to know that Sam is the person that created the Bla Xit logo and also the code logo. Sam is not just talking, Sam is walking the walk. Today, we had an afternoon meeting all about the Bla Xit website. He's not just talking the talk. It's a Gambian man that created the Bla Xit logo. It's a Gambian man that created the code logo. We are working together. Let me show you. The future is us working together, whether you like it or whether you don't like it. Yeah, that's how it is. Right now, I'm not letting nobody else on because, you know, I'm feeling this flow.
I just want to thank you, Sam, for everything that you just said. It spoke to my soul. And, you know, I promise you, I just want to bring back everything good. I want to leave everything that that's no good here and just bring all good to my country and to my people. And I know that there's a lot of us that are waiting and cannot wait for the opportunity to actually get on the continent, be it that they're going to the Gambia, Ghana, Tanzania. We're going to a lot of places. When sometimes when you hear these people talk, they think all 70 million diasporans are going to come right to the Gambia. No, we're going to a whole lot of places. But those of us that are coming home to the Gambia, we're coming home to souls like yours. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thanks for that, Brother Sam, you know. Your message is well delivered. And I know a lot of people, I could see from the comments how many people are proud of what you have said. And yes, we have to do it together.
We have to.
It's just together, you know.
We can't be separated anymore. Let's come together. We're Africans. That's what we are, Africans. Simple. We are our brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter how they displace us throughout the continent. We have to have the heart for each other, that love and respect for each other. You know, we're not living in no luxury in the West because they persecute us every day. You all have TV now. You all have internet. You all seen it. You all seen how they shoot our people in America. You all see what they done with George Floyd. Don't come with a cold heart. You all don't come with a cold heart. It's not African. Africans are loving people. Let's stop the division.
Yes.
You know? Yes, I know that changes is coming. And some people scared of changes. But one thing you have to embrace changes. And when we come here, we ourselves have a part to play. So some of us coming back we have to come back and respect the culture and respect the people same way. You understand? We can't come and believe that we're going to force a westernized ideology on the people. We have to come and sit with our brothers and sisters and see what they want. Look at what they want. They have structures here. They have systems here that they want to develop as well. We shouldn't just come and try and say, oh, let's change this. No, let's work with what's here. Let's work together.
Yes.
Because once we work together with our brothers and sisters here, it's just the stronger we're going to become.
Hang on one second. I think I am to come.
You see, it's just the stronger we will be. Let's look at each other as a mirror. When I look in listen, I met some people here, and it's like their family. You just can't explain it. When you look at them, you see yourself in them. You know? So we have to
Adrian, look, there was many times people mistake me here for Jamaican.
You
right?
see?
When they look at me, in fact, when I even speak, they'll think that I came from Jamaica. Right?
It's true.
Right?
But you can cook and saltfish like a Jamaican though.
Well, you see, and I know how to cook it. And I love it. Yeah. I love my listen, every morning, every weekend, I have my fried dumpling, right? I make my fried dumpling. Yeah.
I'm glad you touched on that, Sam.
Yeah.
You still have maroons in Jamaica.
Of course.
Never, ever, ever let go the African history
And heritage.
And
culture.
They still keep the culture. They still keep the language.
Yep.
Understand?
Yep.
So what we can say to these people, that they never give up, only because they were taken there.
Listen,
they never give up the culture.
Our languages, right? They're similar. There's lots of words that we have that are similar. You know, you talk about language that every Gambian know, poto poto, nyam, that's when you eat, picking, that's our language, right? So there's a lot of things, right? So if you want to say in my language, you want to say where you go, we say usa you go, right? Usa you go.
Usa you go.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And we say where you go, you say usa you go.
Where you go. Yeah.
Right? So there's lots of words. I can sit down here with you and talk to you. For example, in Jamaica, they have the bami and fried fish. Yeah? We have the same dish in Gambia. We have the same dish in Gambia with brown sauce, fried fish with brown sauce. We call it cassava bread. You guys call it bami. Same thing we have in Gambia, right? Yes. So how can you turn around and tell me otherwise, right? In fact, I was even shocked to find out, Juliet, that not a lot of people know, even Africans know how to make ginger beer. You know the ginger beer. And for us, in Gambia, it's natural. We know how to make ginger beer. In Jamaica as well, they know how to make ginger beer. I can't tell a Jamaican how to make a ginger beer. They know. But if I speak to someone in East Africa, they don't probably know how to make ginger beer. I'm teaching somebody already in southern part of Africa, say from Namibia, how to make ginger beer. They don't know how to make ginger beer. So it just shows you that we're just across the water, right? So there's no point. And because we cannot even prove where our diasporans, their ancestors came from, there's no point for us to go and have DNA tests to say, you need to come to this country. We just need to say, come, you're welcome. Wherever you feel you fit in, come in, you're welcome. And that's it. Juliet came to Gambia because she felt welcome in Gambia. So be it. There are other people who don't want to come to Gambia. They want to go to Ghana. We don't mind. Go wherever you want to go. Just come to the continent. Because why are people coming over? They're coming over because they're running away from the lifestyle the so-called lifestyle we think we're enjoying here, we're not enjoying. All right? We're not. And I'll make that clear. And to be honest with you, Juliet, something I never said to you, from the time I came over here back in the 80s, I've always said I want to go back home, right? For personal reasons, I didn't do that. That's the reason why, I've been here this long. After getting married, having kids, etc., it's not easy just to root yourself up and come over. But we are on the move. We're making a move, and very soon we're going to. But before I make my way back there, I'm going to make a lot of money here and bring it there. And by the way, it's not going to take years, right? It's not going to take years, because I'm bringing the money back to develop the country, to work together with you, Juliet, and everyone else, because I don't see you as an outsider. You are my sister. All of you guys are my sisters and brothers. Who knows? Who knows? There's people here in Gambia who look just like other people over in the Caribbean.
Yes.
They look alike. They're people who look alike. Right? So I don't think I'm going to be dwelling on this anymore. Like I said, it's a matter of time. We shouldn't spend our time, with the people who are time wasters, where they're sapping our energy, right? They're sapping our energy. And if I was you, Juliet, I would not even make a show like this again, whereby you're trying to prove a point. You don't need to prove a point. Do you understand? You don't need to prove a point. If you think about it, there are families in Gambia right now. They're going down 4, 6 generations. Their brothers and sisters or mothers or wherever it is were taken as slaves. Those families still exist in Gambia today.
Yes.
Right? They still exist in Gambia today. Right? It's just that, a lot of us, we were not writing the histories down. So everything was done through songs and verbally, was passed on verbally. But there are families in Gambia today who their former ancestors or their ancestors 4 or 5 generations ago were taken. We're taken. So you might be passing your brothers or sisters going down 6 generations. You don't even know.
Yeah.
And then you got some people who have the audacity to tell you guys, or to tell us or the African diasporas, you're going to come take a land. Why they didn't voice their view when all the Europeans are coming buying big land? Look at the last time you put a video online showing those people getting kicked out of a land that they built in already. Right? Getting kicked out. Because when the Europeans come over, they feel they're king everywhere. And when they come to our countries, we make them feel like they're king. Listen, I don't have time to hate anyone. I don't have hatred for anyone. What I want to see is my people succeed. I want to see my people actually succeed. That's all I'm interested in. I don't even have time hatred for other people. I don't. Because the energy that I want to put into to see my people succeed, right? My people are my problem. If we have problems, we sit down, we talk about it. Okay, we don't need no outsiders. Okay, so we can start pushing people out. So does that mean that my kids, when they come over to Gambia, are they going to be seen as outsiders just because they were born in Europe? What's the difference between my kids who are born here now and, say, for example, you, Juliet, or our diasporans who were born, say, 100 years, 200 years ago, 200 years ago outside Gambia? What's the difference? The difference is only time. Only time. Bloodline is the same.
I can say well, brother.
We were forced. We were taken in captivity.
Well, that's it.
That's what I was saying to you. This got to be a special case. You understand? Because people don't understand. Some people leave the continent on their free will years ago.
What we should do? Adrian, what we should do? The people who are haters, we should tie them in a boat like our ancestors and drop them somewhere in the Caribbean. Let them see and experience. And then they told not to come back. They're not going to come back. Let's see how they're going to feel.
Listen,
the doors down.
The island which I was born is Montserrat.
I know Montserrat very well.
Yeah, Montserrat is still a colony of England. You understand? Yeah. And we only have to go back 4 generations. My grandmother, parents was just coming out of the enslavement.
Yeah.
Her grandmother and grandfather was enslaved Africans. When they took them away from Gambia, Ghana, wherever they took them from, they were living here. They had lands. Right. You understand? They had homes. Yeah, they had homes in the village. Was born
of course.
My question is, if people looking at us as land grabbers, where is the land ancestors left behind? Where is that land?
Nobody's gonna talk about that.
Where is the land that was taken from?
Like I said to you, Adrian, But Adrian, I agree with you. Adrian, yourself, everyone who's a diaspora, they have family in Africa, right? Going back generations, they have family. That's the same bloodline in Africa. When those people were taken, their relatives didn't just disappear. They had children and children. They had children in the continent. So the whole point I'm making, you have families. It's just that you don't know your families. If we could make a movie to show from slavery, then going back 400 years to see after 400 years after slavery, we're able to follow that family in the movie. You would see that probably they come across their brothers and sisters. They didn't even know they're their brothers and sisters. So as far as I'm concerned, we have to look what is the issue here. People are arguing about time because you've been out of the continent for in fact, not even 400 years. We can say that you've been out of the continent for 400 years, right? Slavery didn't stop. It went on for 400 years. So there's a stupidity that people do confuse the number of years slavery was on for compared to the number of years that slavery stopped. It's ridiculous, right? So it's easy for us to keep on pushing our brothers and sisters. And guess what? When we keep doing that, we're hurting ourselves. We're hurting ourselves, because I can tell you right now today, and for those people who put religion first, let me tell you one thing: you're African first, right? Religion comes after, because you can be a Muslim, you can be a Christian, right? They treat you the same. I've got family members who are Muslim, right? I've got family members who are Muslim. They're all the same. They're still my family, right? So it does not matter. You're African. Whatever you believe in, you are African. Right? So Juliet, listen, I don't want to take your time. You know, I'm all fired up. So probably it's best for you not to actually get me on your show, because you know my words. I don't mess around with my words. I just tell you where I think you need to get up. Right? So and that's but listen, thank you very much for having me. Yeah.
Sam, wait, stay there. Stay there. I want to stay there. Okay, because Re-Empire's on, and I want to hear what Re-Empire's got to say. So I want you to stay there. Gina, stay there. Okay. Let's go with this.
Greetings, brother Ray.
Yeah.
Come in, Ray Empire.
Hi everyone. Hi Bla Xit.
Nice to meet you, brother. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm on my way from work. I just want to understand, something. I will, because I don't want this to be like, after these issues where I understand we'll be separated. You understand, talking trash about each other, that will be waste of time, So I want to know, because as an average Gambian, like, my stand before about automatic citizenship, but now, the brother came up like, Halat Africa, the Lamarana, the brother came up, you understand, with, some significant point that I think, I should understand. So, before I make my conclusion, I understand.
I'm sorry. I just want to say something before he concludes. And that is that certain things were said. And that needs to be said offline. And I'm going to empower Bla Xit and all Bla Xit family today that we're going to take control of our own narrative. And I'm going to do exactly what Sam said. I'm going to silence my mind of naysayers. I'm going to silence my mind of haters. And so I'm going to keep the flow positive as it has been. And we're going to keep talking. So my brother, take that offline. Call me. Yeah? Call me. Now, my sister Bijinua, you heard what my brother Sam had to say. How you feeling about that?
Man, I'm just feeling like I can't wait to get home. Hey, you guys, I promise you, I had such an issue with my passport, but I'm 2 weeks away from getting it. And I'm just so excited because I promise you, I don't know. I'm hoping that I could get to the Gambia in June. The more I hear people like Sam and everything that he said, And there's a few others. We have loads of Gambians that are welcoming us, not just Gambians, Ghanaians, Tanzanians. I mean, we have loads of brothers and sisters on the continent that is telling us, look, come home. We just want you to come home, and we'll work everything else. We'll try to, we'll work with you. The fact that he's working, the one thing that stood out for me is we can't change certain things just by discussions. This conversation is not going to make them change the law today. But the fact that my brother says he's going to stand with me, that's it. That's enough for me to want to come home, and I know I'm in good hands. And you see that I think there's a misunderstanding, because I believe that the law of attraction, the universe, the gods, the spirits are behind us all. And I don't have a problem with the citizenship, because I know it's going to come in our favor, because I'm not asking for something that isn't mine. It's like you go somewhere and you just ask for somebody to give you something that's yours. You're not afraid, because you're going to get it because it's yours. What's the only thing that it was hurtful, and the only thing that was scary for me was, you see, I'm not going back home for the land. We have land here. We could buy land here, sometimes even cheaper. I'm not going back home for the mangoes, for the trees. And I said this before, we're coming back home to be with a family. And what was disturbing was that, if you paid attention to the naysayers and to the negative people, it started making me feel like we didn't have family. But when I hear Sam and I hear so many other brothers and sisters on the continent telling us, hey, we love you. We're here. We're waiting. We're going to be right here with you. This process, 15 years too long. We're going to try to see what we can do, because this is yours. This is ours. We want to share it with you. I'm ready to eat off the same plate with my brothers and sisters in the Gambia. So that's all I got to say. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Juliet, Adrian Bla Xit, and Sam, all continentals that's working on our behalf, all of the diasporans that's working on our behalf to get there and do good work. And even if you can't put in the work, just be a good soul. Just give back love that you're going to be receiving from your brothers and sisters. And that's all.
Bijanoa.
Yes.
When our ancestors were taken away, when they were facing those dreadful moments, right?
Yeah.
I believe, without a doubt, in their hearts of heart, they had a dream that one day their future generations will return back.
Yes, I truly believe that too.
You put yourself in the foot of a slave. Every day they wake up, they dream that one day they will be back. And that is what the diasporans are doing.
Yeah.
And those who are coming, those ones, if you want to come over to the Gambia, to Africa, to taste mango, to come there for the mango, you have the right to do so.
Yeah.
If you want to come over there for the sunshine, the weather, you have the right to do so. You know what? If you knew that your family is in Gambia, for example, that that you were separated, your ancestors were separated from, you would not be saying the same thing today, would you? If you were able to trace through documentation your family, wherever they are in Africa, you will not feel the way you feel today. So since we don't have that, and we know for sure that each and everyone that was taken as slaves outside the continent, they had relatives, they had family that stayed behind. Those relatives and family, going back generations, are still alive today in Africa. So when you come there, you're passing your brothers and sisters. This is powerful. You're passing your brothers and sisters. You don't know them. You don't know them, but they are. And because you were taken, not by choice, so you have the right to come back. Only you have the right not to call yourself an African. And if you call yourself not an African, I'll call you a fool. Right? So nobody has the right to say you are not an African. Who has the right? Yes. Who has the right to say that? No politician. No one has the right. That's why I said to you, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. Okay? And we are going to build that continent, because for us, we're looking at Gambia right now. Okay? But there's a lot of people that I'm watching online. They're not all coming to Gambia. They're all going to other parts of the continent. And I'm equally happy for those people, just as I am for those who are coming to Gambia. Because for me, Africa is my home, right? Africa is my home. And if you, in fact, I don't know if you guys noticed, you know, Ghana, the Ghana Empire was not where Ghana is today. The Ghana Empire, as far as I'm aware, went through West Africa to almost to where Gambia is today, if I'm not lying.
Yes, you are correct.
Right? So these people who are talking rubbish, these are the people who have not even studied their history. Now, if they study their history, they understand the trauma their ancestors, because it's also their ancestors, have been through, have gone through. They will not open their mouth and talking what they're talking about now. You look at the Western countries, they're united. Look at Australia, look at Canada, look at America, look at Europe. They're united. When you look at NATO, what do you think NATO is standing for? You think NATO is standing for Africa? When you talk about the Five Eyes, they share secrets, right, of whatever is happening. Who do you think they're talking about? Do they include us? Of course not. We're just one more. So all this thing about European, our brothers and sisters tearing down statues in Europe, it doesn't, for me, it makes no difference to me. If you tear down a slave master statue, I'm not interested in that. Because what has done has already been done. You tearing down a statue is not going to make any difference. What I want is my people, those who can come back because they want to come back. These are the people I want to see coming back to build the continent so that those who are in the continent will not leave thinking that the streets of Europe are paved with gold and diamond, because they're not.
Thank you.
They're not. Do you want to show you programs of people, their teeth falling out of their mouth here in the UK? Do you want to show you during the lockdown people who don't even have food to eat? But yet you got people who are selling their family land just to kill themselves, to come over in the sea, not knowing where they are going to end up, just to come over. For what? To be abused. To be abused in a foreign land. Now it shows you how low a lot of us have stooped. We're low. Right now, I'm not going to say to you that me being here, when I didn't come here because I wanted to come here to get a better life. I came here as a child. I came here with my mom, right? Because my mom married another Gambian, so they came here so she came here, and I came here. But from the day that I came here, I always said I want to go back. But my time in this country, I'm using it to better my people. To better my people. If you ask me, am I living the life? Of course not. Because only yesterday I was speaking to Juliet. I was telling her how miserable. We had no sun yesterday. And when I was speaking to Juliet, she was telling me that she was sweating. The breeze is blowing. The sky is blue. And I'm looking at here. It's cold. We have the wind, we have the heating on. Right? So as far as I'm concerned, if you want to come back because you want a change of life, you have the right to come back. You as an African, you have the right to come back. And we're behind you. Like I said, let's focus on the positives, not the negatives. The negatives will always be there. These are people who are the enemy within. Yes. And they don't even know that when they actually harm those who are coming over, they're harming themselves. Because when we're here in Europe, the very people who are against you, who are here in Europe, I'm telling you right now, they're going to be treated the same way as the African brothers and sisters in the diaspora.
Mm. Mm. Let's call them secret agents that are working against. Let's call them secret agents.
Well, they better stay over. If they want to be secret agent, they better stay over in the West.
That's it.
Right? They better stay over in the West because things are going to change, and it's time for change. Right? It's time for change. If you look at the world right now, everybody is becoming nationalistic. The far right, they're rising in numbers. Yes. And that's what we do. We as Black people, we as Africans, we're fighting each other. Right? So the time is now, and we're going to move forward. That's all I can say.
So, Brother Sam, I think the desensitization have to start from all heads of state in Africa.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
The heads of state in Africa have a responsibility to bring their people back home.
Yeah.
You understand? We can't sit here and pretend that Africa hasn't failed its people that was taken.
I agree with
the
you.
heads of Africa should not be sitting there feeling privileged You understand that they could even ignore their diaspora coming back.
Yep.
Every country, every continent in the world have a right to go back and find their people that was captured, kidnapped, brutalized, and taken away.
Yep.
That's why I was saying carefully, this have to come out of the public hand. Because the public is talking from their emotions. They don't have a clue sometimes what they're talking about. It's just like reparations. The average white man want to come up and talk nonsense, but we're talking about the heads of state. Those that benefit from the enslavement of our people. You understand? That is what we're talking about, like the royal families and them. You understand? They're the ones that need to come up and pay reparations. And the heads of state in Africa itself, they too have a right to go and seek justice for the people, because taking us, millions of us that took away from Africa, that damage the infrastructure of Africa, damage the wealth of Africa, damage the manpower of Africa. So when Africans come in with a foolishness, they need to think. Understand? And the heads of state, all heads of state of Africa should follow suit like what they've done in Ghana, like what they've done in Sierra Leone, like what they've done in different parts of the world, that welcome home us.
And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. That is why we're doing what we're doing right now. Like I said, but you need to start somewhere.
Yes, once the heads of state come out and speak and welcome us, right, that would desensitize the people. Because they're responsible.
But listen, the thing what I find really ironic, in fact, even the president of the Gambia right now, he used to live in London, right? He used to live in London. Don't tell me that he never actually experienced racism, right? Don't tell me he never actually experienced racism, but he has not actually come out to say anything. Do you understand? And that's the reason why whatever is holding him back, and I'm hoping that he comes out and say, but look, let me tell you something. Words are less effective. Action is more effective. Let us do. Those who want to come along with us, they come. Those who want to get left behind, let them get left behind. Okay? What I can say, whatever forward movement we're making, nobody's going to stop us. Okay? And that's what we have to do. Like I said, there's a lot to be done. I sleep, I wake up, Gambia, Africa. That's what I do. I wake up, sleep, wake up, Africa. I even told my kids already. I was doing the census a few months ago. I told you, Juliet. They asked what nationality, what do I view my children as? I said African.
Yes.
How can I call my children English or Black British? What rubbish is that? Yeah, it's the same thing like David Lammy. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. David Lammy, this guy, I don't know, I'm not even going to use that word. This guy, he needs to be checked. He was arguing with a white English lady on national radio that he is English. And because yes, I can send you the clip on YouTube. I will send you the clip. He's arguing with the English lady that he is English. The guy is black. The guy is African. The guy is Caribbean. His parents come from the Caribbean, right? So how can you be there arguing with somebody? Let me ask him a question. What food did you eat when you were growing up? Did you eat Caribbean food or did you eat English food? Right? What mannerism were you brought up in? What mannerism did you have growing up? How can you call yourself English because you're born in a country? I don't call myself English. I don't call my children English. They're born African. They just happen to born here. They just have the paper. And by the way, there are people who are born here who got deported, right? Because they commit crime, because of the color of their skin. Now, let me see if a white person is born in this country, they're going to get deported. So let's not fool ourselves.
Exactly.
You understand? And people have to understand. And in fact, every Gambian or African that was born in the continent, that's out of the continent, they should be the rooting for every one of us to come together as diasporans, because they've gone through hell. And do you know what? And many of them have been so traumatized mentally because of biasness, the slavery mentality, or whatever, the racism, to the point that it becomes part of their system. They're even numb to it, to the point that when they come on holiday, when they wake up, it feels strange for them just to turn around and see black people all over the place, because they're in a country whereby they don't even have to think about the color of their skin. You get me? So here, every time someone opens their mouth, you have to second guess. If you're driving the car, someone stop you or someone behave in a certain way, you stop to think, is it because I'm black? Right? Is it because I'm black? Every time, right? I can give you many examples on a weekly basis what I go through. That affects one mentally. It does, right? So these people who are in the Western world, who are actually against the brothers and sisters, I'm surprised they behave in the way they behave. That's why I think that we're wasting our time. I think what we should be doing from now on is just do all the positive things to show what we're going, so we don't give airtime to these time wasters. They're just wasting time. Time that is also against them, by the way, because when the diasporans come and when we start building the continent, these are the very people who are going to come over. We're going to charge them a lot of money to buy, to buy houses from us, right? To actually, get good services from us, because we're going to build the continent to the point whereby they're going to come over as strangers. So those who are coming, let them come and actually build the continent. That's what we're interested in. Build, invest. Let's move on. Nobody's coming there to have a free ride. Everybody's coming because they want to better off. They want the country to be better off. So let's work hard to make it happen, right? So like I said, Juliet, you got my backing. I've already said to you several times. Adrian, you guys have my backing, right? But you know what? I will continue to watch your show. I know it's sometimes 2, 3, 7 hours long. I'm struggling, but gosh, do you know how many times I watch your show and I fall asleep? And I wake up in the morning with your voice in my head, and I'm thinking, where did this come from? The moment you've been playing on my subconscious while I was sleeping with a headphone on.
Thank you for your support, my brother.
Yeah. So listen, the fight goes on. Let's all work together and let's make this happen. Okay. So Julia, I don't know if you still want me on or you want to release me. We have a meeting after this, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Actually, we have a meeting about the Bla Xit website. So what I'm going to do is we're going into this meeting. I'm actually going to close up. So what I'm going to do is give everybody an opportunity to have their last closing thoughts. Yeah. And we are going to keep it positive. And I do agree with you. And I learned something new today, because I'm kind of like, I was brought up with, a lot of brothers. And so, as you can imagine, I gave as good as I could get. And so sometimes when you're brought up in that kind of environment, someone throws a punch, you ain't even ducking, you just fire him on back. So forgive me, Bla Xit family, because sometimes I I fire a punch here or two, back to people. And I do drop names like, haters like Dwayne Herbert, haters like Prince Stricken and Camilla and all the rest of them. I do drop their names because you know what? They came for me for no reason. I did them no wrong. So I am going to drop it. And I'm sorry, that's my last slap black, right? And I slap black and I slap back. So on a positive note, I want to say we are powered up. Powered up, my family, powered up. We have all of the National Assembly members here in the Gambia. We have the support and encouragement that we heard from the Vice President here in the Gambia. We have the support of the Youth Task Force here in the Gambia. We have the support of VDCs here in the Gambia. We have the support of Alcalos here in the Gambia. We have the support of Chiefs here in the Gambia. We have the support of Stephos here in the Gambia. And let's hope that all the governors get behind us here in the Gambia. We have the support of the villagers here in the Gambia. And we are moving forward here in the Gambia. And change will be made here in the Gambia. That's all I got to say. And with your support, we'll keep moving it forward.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sister Juliet.
Nyancho.
Let me come here for a quick minute. I would like to make my little spiel very short. Now, for the few people out there that are making it uncomfortable, I wouldn't say difficult, uncomfortable to accomplish the things we're trying to accomplish, I'm going to ask you to tell us what it is that is bothering you. If what it is you're trying to do, let us know. If you want to build something, build it. If Nyansho is in your way, tell us how she's in your way. What is she doing that's preventing you from doing what it is you're trying to do? And if there is some way we can step aside for you to do what you want to do, we'll give you the room. But please, stop going out there and saying things to try to bring her down. It's not building you up. Bringing her down is not building you up. So let it go. Let that go. Let us be family and build the Gambia. Let's build the continent. Let's do that. Trying to bring each other down is not building. It's tearing it down. We have so much work to do. We have seen George Floyd. We saw a foot on his neck. Why bring that same mentality here? It's time to end that. Let's come here as family and build the continent. That's all I'm asking. Please, stop. And those are my words. Those are my last words for today. Stop. Let's build. Thank you.
One sec. Do you have land in Bussorah?
Yes, I do.
What do you intend to do with it?
A lot. I have 16 plots in Bussorah.
Ah.
Where were we yesterday?
At the BDC. In Bussorah.
And is your land there?
Yes, it is.
And is your land beautiful?
Wonderful.
And you got all your documents and all your papers?
Yes, I do.
You got a good price?
Don't tell them the price.
All right. Adrian, I hand over to you.
Yes. Listen. Marcus Garvey, we have to honor you. Kunta Kinte, we have to honor you. Dottie Bookman, we have to honor you. And many more. Kimpovita, Yas Antoine. These are people that stand up as proud Africans, fighting till the day they die for the unification of African people. You understand? We must honor our ancestors and we must respect our ancestors. Marcus Garvey blood is in me. No haters gonna stop me. I gotta go on. The reparation already started. Whether some people like it or not is happening. What happened in the past is coming straight back now. Yeah? Many of us wanted to return to the continent years ago, but due to financial hardship, we still remain in the West, suffering. Yes? And Africa, again, I will come back to the heads of state. When you could prove to me that the passage for us to return to where we was taken from, then I could understand. Yeah? When have you made a passage and made it possible for your kidnapped sons and daughters that was raped, thrown overboard for sharks to eat? Those are your grandparents as well as ours. Right? When have you reached out to us? Before you go and make laws upon citizenship, when have you reached out to us to find out how many of us wanted to come back home? I could not able to afford to get back home. Because many people wanted to return to where they was taken from. There was nothing left, no passage left, no opening left for us to come back. And now we get back here, we're not going to be insulted. We're not going to be insulted because we're proud Africans just like you. We shouldn't even be fighting this fight because we fight a lot of fight in the West. I see the West stand up for South Africa when Nelson Mandela was in prison. I see many reggae artists from Jamaica come out and speak about freedom for South Africa. Many of us stand up because we know our history. But when we come here, somewhat we feel disappointed because our history was wiped away. And as Bob Marley said, 400 years of history should not be wiped away so easily. Yes. Yeah? It's not going to wipe away. We're coming home. And we want our brothers and sisters to know that your family is coming back. You understand? We have a right to come back. It's our birthright. I could prove to you right now in the Gambia, I met many people that come back from the diaspora here. You could go through anything, and they're peaceful people, having a family, having a business running. There's no crime rate among them. You understand? So I don't know what the panic is all about. We're not coming back here with a westernized nonsense. When you come to Africa, you have to humble yourself. Everybody that comes to Africa have to humble himself. You understand? Because Africa itself is a continent that will humble you. God, this is where your ancestors come from. You have to humble yourself. You're not under the same stress and pressure that you're under in the West. So the last thing people should worry about is criminal activity coming from the diaspora. It don't work like that.
You can't even get out. If you've got certain criminal charges on record, you can't even leave the country. You can't even get a passport. So this is why I understand these kind of insecurity.
It's stupid.
And people also saying about automatic. Oh, we don't like the word automatic. You can't get it automatic. Our ancestors were taken automatically.
Automatically.
Automatically. Our ancestors were taken automatically. And you never came back for us automatically.
But this is what I'm saying. There was no passage left for us to come back. You see? And this is what makes it so difficult for us, because we also have to humble ourselves, because we don't want to create no issues among ourselves again.
No.
We don't want to create no more division. So that's why we have to be respectful.
Yeah.
You understand? We have to be respectful. That's what I'm saying in the beginning. This is not something easy. We have to sit down with our historians to come up with solutions that we're going to get the message throughout the schools, throughout the villages, so that people understand that we're returning home. As I say, 400 years of history cannot be wiped away so easily. What we've been through is still left pain in us living in the West, because we're still feeling racism. Racism is a direct product of slavery. When people used to have you as less than a human being, when they used to kill you and leave you there for dogs to eat, and when they used to hang you from trees by your rib, that's where the disrespect starts. And that's why the disrespect is still carrying on today.
Listen, someone said, oh, but we're going about it the wrong way. Let me tell you something. Which way was our ancestors taken? Explain to me how we were hiding the wrong way. Explain to me. Explain to me how we were taken into captivity in ships, packed in worse than sardines in the wrong way. Explain to me when we had to march down the coast with no shoes on until some of us died of exhaustion. Some of us had to have be branded with a hot iron that was in the fire like animals, and women raped before they even got on the ship. Explain to me.
Listen.
Explain to me how that approach was wrong. Why aren't you complaining about the approach of the Lebanese? Why aren't you complaining about the approach of the Chinese taking all your land? Why aren't you approaching about them why are you complaining about the Chinese taking all your ship and your fish out of the sea? Why don't you tell them about their approach being wrong?
By the way, Juliet, listen, when I was growing up in Gambia, right, the Lebanese, I used to even think they were African. They even spoke the language better than I did. No one ever said anything about the Lebanese. They're all over the place. When we used to go and buy cloth to sew material for school uniform, etc., there was Lebanese families we used to buy from. Okay, that was when Banjul was in its heydays, right? When you go next to the Albert Market, right? All the shops there, Lebanese. The supermarket, Lebanese, right? I didn't hear about any Gambian complaining.
No.
Right? No one complaining. Okay, so listen, that's what I said to you. I don't spend time with these people. Okay, you know, when you're running business, you have to focus on what is important, on what pushes your business forward. You don't spend time on what is irrelevant. We are going to spend time on what is relevant, because what we're going to do, even these haters are going to benefit from it, because they'll be chewing their tongue in their own private space, or whatever you want to say, right? We won't even know about them, but they will see what we're talking about today, you really endeavor to do, if now and the future. They will see it later, that what we were talking about, that they are going to actually benefit from it. They benefited from it. So we shouldn't worry about what they think. The way I see it is like a parent, like a mother and a child. When you as a parent, you're trying to teach your children in the right way, they fight against you. But later in life, they see how important it is, everything you've been teaching them. And that's how I see these people. I see them as immature, lack of understanding. They don't know their history. Okay? So let's move forward, and let us not allow these people to be a hindrance. To be a subject matter. They are irrelevant. And if you take a look at this, it's like when you look at a bad apple. One bad apple can destroy everything. But that is if you allow the bad apple to be among the good apples. So the people who are haters, they are a tiny minority, right? Who the only thing they have is just words. They have nothing. They have not done anything for their country. So let's concentrate with those who are doing something positive, and let's move forward. Juliet, you have a lot of people there. They're on the ground with you, working with you. Okay, so let's concentrate with those people and everyone who's supporting our cause to make this become a reality.
Sam,
yes.
I just want to land with one point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You see, like from our perspective, right, where the pain lies, yeah, mm-hmm. it incites a reaction. So it's easy to try and distance yourself from it. But when it affects you, because it's your ancestors that were enslaved, just like your ancestors were enslaved. Our ancestors, all of our ancestors were enslaved. I say yours, I mean mine. I mean everybody's.
Everyone.
So I like to feel when people are disassociating and disattaching themselves from the same history. We all have the same history, right? And sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, what I want to say now, for all those people are saying all of these things, right? We're going about it the wrong way or whatever. Let them show me what Africa has done to bring us back. Let them come and prove to me.
Zilch.
What the continent has done.
Nothing.
So when they could do, listen, if
can they even prove the names? Where's the list of names?
Wait, what I'm saying, many ships have lived not only Gambia, different parts. I would like to know if every African government have any list of those people that was taken from the continent.
Boom.
And if they don't have a list, what you asking us about? There thousands,
millions and millions
of our brothers and sisters was taken.
Hundreds of millions.
Some of their bodies still lying in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, the skeleton, the bones. Yeah? Are these people, want the Africans? Want the ancestors? Want your ancestors? Want your great uncles, aunts? Want the people that was living in the villages, getting on with the normal business? Where we are, they're coming back. So drown me again in the Atlantic if you can. I don't care. I'm an African and I'm a proud African.
That's it.
And when I come to the continent, I'm going to stand as a proud African.
That's it. You said it.
Hey, what I was trying to say is when our ancestors were kidnapped, forcibly kidnapped into captivity against their will, by surprise, taken by surprise, by a knife or a gunpoint, right? When they were taken, they did not have a passport. There was no immigration. There was no national assembly. There was chiefs. There was alcalos. There were kings. There were queens. There were villages. And those villages still exist today. Those alcalos still exist today. Those chiefs still exist today. So we are appealing to those chiefs. We are appealing to those villages that we were taken from to take us back in automatically.
Yes.
Automatically.
Yes. So before people start disrespect, let them show us the effort that the continent had made to bring his people back. Show that fact, show that effort, and then you start with negativity. Show it. Because we want to see. We want to see when they sit down and they make the constitution, we have to reach out to us in the wider diaspora to ask us if we would like to return.
We was written out of the constitution.
They have a right to have been contacted as well. Because they was taken against their will. So when they sit and they make their constitution, I did not even consider those that was taken. What does that tell us? What does that tell us?
It's
all the
yeah.
All the Gambians are taken from the shores of Gambia on slave ships. It's equal to any Gambian living today. Why are they being disrespected?
Yes. Listen, all I got to say is this, yeah? I will not, as long as I'm living, ever give up on my ancestors. I will never forget my ancestors. I love my ancestors because I am my ancestors and my ancestors are me.
Ubuntu.
I am the living representation of my ancestors. You are the living representation, Sam, of all of our ancestors.
Yep.
You, my love, Gina, Bijou, Noir, are the living representation of all of our ancestors. Because like I said, and I'm going to end on this note, as one we are many, and as many we are one. We are Africans, one Africa, one nation, one people, one destiny, one future, and we will not be divided. So all I got to say is, unified, we're going to move forward.
Indeed.
The victory is ours.
Victory is ours.
We're coming home, guys. We're coming home. I'm so
The
happy.
fight is on.
Bijou Noir,
Okay.
say, and then we're done for today.
I just want to say thank you for having this platform. Thank you for doing what you're doing. I mean, every bit of it. I know it's not, this thing that you're doing is not the easiest walk, but you're walking it, and you're walking it for so many of us. It's not a small task, Juliet, and trust me, those of us that are watching and have been watching from the very beginning understand that this thing was given to you. You don't even know where it came from. And you've handled it very well. You, Adrian, Bla Xit, The Code, everybody down there that's supporting Sam, that's supporting you in the ways that he has supported you. Every brother and sister in the Gambia, on the continent, that supports you and supports us and supports our ancestors and the God that you know is above us all. I'm very grateful that we are waking up, and that takes away this nonsense takes away from the greatness that is happening behind the scenes by the spirits that are greater than us. And because I know there is something greater than us engineering this, because I know that the ancestors on the continent and the ancestors that were taken from the continent are working on this for us. I'm not afraid of the naysayers. I'm not even bothered by some of their negativity. I like the fact that they're standing out and letting their names be known, their faces be known, because there is a reason for that. What I'm going to do right now, and like what Sam said, like what you echoed, what Adrian echoed, my brother over here, what he echoed with the 16 plots of land. You probably got mangoes on those land. I don't got no mangoes on my land. Okay, so that being said, everything that is being said tonight and everything that is being done from this day on, Juliet, just keep moving, move forward. Understand that you're not alone, physically or spiritually. We are going home. And there are a lot of beautiful brothers and sisters in the Gambia waiting for us to come home. We have relatives waiting for us to come home, and they're the ones we're going home to. Period, point blank.
No.
Hey, you.
Hello, Capri.
Smash that like button. So thank you so much for having me, guys. This has been awesome, and I'm very happy. Thank you, guys, in the comment sections, both good and bad. Love you all, regardless.
So, like I said, if everyone could just type one Africa, yeah, one people, one destiny, one love, yeah, because as one we are many, and as many we are one. Yeah, the only way to eradicate racism is to leave it behind and come live with your own kind. One love, family. Thank you. Thank you for being on the show.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.